Alright, this is what we're going to need. Not much in the way of tools. Use your clay, whatever brand you like. And we start by rolling 2 red logs to make the legs. And just put them on, press them together. Roll 2 small black balls for the feet. And you can see on my paper that the red clay is coming off on the paper, which means it's coming off on your hands. And the black many times comes off on your hands also, so make sure you wash your hands between colors. And I'm rolling the red, as I do in many of the videos, just to get ready for the candy canes. I have switched the sheet and washed my hands. So now I'm making his upper body, which he's wearing a white shirt. It doesn't have to be fancy, we're just going to do it that way because most of it you won't see. So that'll be fine. And we're going to make suspenders. I really should have rolled my white clay before I made the suspenders, looking back at it now, because now I have to clean my hands again, but that's all right. Now make sure your clay, the green clay, all your clay is well conditioned, but the green clay really needs to be well conditioned if it's to go through the pasta machine smoothly. And to do the wreath, just squeeze through short strands, squeeze out a bunch of them so you can assemble it. Be generous. Don't make it look skimpy. You might get tempted not to squeeze out enough and say, oh, that's plenty, but make sure you got a nice thick wreath going. Just looks better. Now you want to put a piece there by his neck to kind of hold everything together. There you go. There. Just very lightly press in with the knitting needle. Don't press too hard with that. And as in all the other videos, remember, you have to press your clay together. You don't have to squish it together, just press it lightly, but it has to bond to each other. The pieces have to bond together or else they're just going to fall apart. You can't just lay them up against each other. Now this is a mound of snow that he's standing on. Now if it's an ornament that you're not going to personalize, you really don't have to do the mound of snow at the bottom. You can just leave it off. But if you're going to personalize, it makes a big difference to have that mound of snow at the bottom, because that's where you'll put the name. Alright, getting ready for the candy cane log. Now, next thing is going to be making his head. I want you to roll a ball. Now don't make the head too big. And you want to roll a ball and then shape it into an egg. See? And it's not hard, it's very easy. I'm using Super Sculpey, but you can make your mouse white or gray, any color you want. Now, all these ornaments are flat on the back, but you do want to get a little dimension on the front. You don't want them to be flat on the front. Now when you make his ears, roll the balls. You can press it down with your finger, but I use the end of my needle tool to make the impression into the ear, make it look more like an ear, as you'll see in a second. There you go. And make sure the ears are touching the head and not floating on the wreath, kind of like that one is. So now once I press it on, it'll be touching the head. There, see? Definitely want touching the head. And now the hands, you want to position them so it looks like he is holding the wreath. Just roll little balls and then just press them on there. Okay, now I have to add on my holly. Oh no, I'm adding on his the cuffs to his pants. I like to add that on because it kind of finishes off the look with his shoes. And I like to put little white dots on there. Oh, little buttons, little tiny. I'm making little tiny balls for his buttons. Now those you can also paint them on. Paint on white buttons, whatever. Actually, I usually do paint them on. I don't know why I decided to do it in clay. Now, almost all of my ornaments, well, even family ornaments, I've made into pins. So in some future videos, we're going to do some Christmas pins. And we'll also do Easter pins, Halloween, St. Patrick's, 4th of July, and Thanksgiving. We'll get all the holidays covered. And with some of them, we'll even have matching earrings. Now this is a little different way to do the leaves. Just texture it with the needle tool. You don't have to do that. I usually don't. I usually just leave them plain the way I had them. But this is just another option. Oh goodness, we have a storm coming in. I don't know if you hear the thunder. Just wanted to mention it was thunder and not my stomach growling, just in case you could hear it. Now he's going to have a star, and as with all videos, if there are cookie cutters involved, the worksheets will have the templates on the back. Not on the back, they'll be on the last page of the worksheet, and with instructions on how to make them. So if you don't have these cookie cutters, the templates are actually made from the very cookie cutters that I use here on this ornament. So if you use the template on the back of, oh, I don't know why I keep saying on the back, the template from the worksheet, it will be the exact size that I have here. And I think you're going to find that these ornaments very easy to make. Just follow the directions and the steps, and I think you're just going to come out making some great ornaments. And then switch them up, add things you want, do them in different colors, add your own touch. Now, after I bake this one, I paint on his eyes and his mouth and his whiskers, and I also dot the wreath with a little bit of white so it looks like snow has been on it. It brings it out a little bit more. You don't have to do it, do what you like, but that's just what I like to do. And you'll see it in the finished ornament. As always, blush, blush, blush. Now you're going to do the ears. Don't worry about making it too dark. They're the ears. They're going to look good. You want it to stand out. Don't make them too dark, but don't make them too light either. Do his cheeks. And, as far as the color of the blush, I like the darker blush, but you can get the lighter blush. And blush goes a long way. It's an inexpensive little tool, and it'll last a long time. I've actually had that blush for years. Little black nose, press it on. Now you can make his mouth with the needle tool, but I've decided not to. I'm going to paint on his mouth. There's the back, there's the front. Now looking at it, I can see through it. I really should have put a little bit more green garland on there, made it a little bit thicker. And there you see it. Well, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.